guys, in this video we're going to go over my starter build for the 1.1 reset or the 1.117 reset. It's a Frostclaw Ignite Sorcerer build. So I made a video early on day one of the build, how I was leveling the build and that kind of stuff. If you're interested, you can go check that video out. This video, the character is pretty much done. I would say there's a few more things I might do, but for the most part I think it is pretty much done, right? Okay, so a lot of things have changed in the build, including like some of the items and all that kind of stuff that we're using. Well, before we talk about the build, let's run a few monoliths so you guys can see what it's like. The damage on this build is actually like pretty insane. I did a tier 4 Julra and killed her like really fast. Like it was like sub 20 seconds. And I think if I went for like a enchant weapon set up to, you know, make the ignites do the damage instantly, I could probably just one-shot her. Might try it out at some point, but for now we're going with the setup I have now. Okay, so we're at like 220 corruption. I'm still trying to do my harbingers, you know, that kind of stuff. We're still only rank 6. It's been a little bit slow, right? I haven't been playing all that much, and most of the time just kind of like experimenting with the build, trying things out. So it's been a little bit slow, but I'll show you a 200 corruption monolith and boss. So there's a lot of things that have sort of changed in the build. You can see right now we're actually using teleport instead of flame rush and doing the, like, you know, cast speed while you have lightning aegis. So we're not doing that anymore. It just went for, you know, teleport and flame ward, actually like spec'd into flame ward to get more defense. And then also doing the mana refund tech with Meteor. There is some other setups I tried out that don't do this. You can see my Frostclaw mana cost is like 14. And it's not that bad, right? It's not like you cast Frostclaw and you're like instantly out of mana. It is pretty, like, sort of manageable, right? It's like, it feels okay, right? It's not that bad. But, and there is some setups that I've tried that you don't need to rely on this tech, right? And the main reason I'm actually doing this, usually I don't like to do this kind of stuff, like rely on another skill to, you know, make the build work. But in this case, we are going to be casting Meteor anyways to get the Craterborn buff, which we pretty much always want active, right? So it did kind of make sense to, well, if we're going to be casting Meteor, then we might as well just use it to refund mana at the same time, right? And I guess if you don't really like doing that, there is, I'll show you some other setups you can do that don't require you to do this, right? Although you probably won't be getting the maximum amount of damage, right? Because you won't be able to run Frostclaw with, what is this? Alright, let's kill this guy. Did we get anything good? Oh, we got intelligence. Okay. Let's just empower it one more time and kill this guy off. So damage is pretty good on the build right now. I could say one thing I don't really think is that good is the ward generation, right? Ward generation is a little bit bad. I mean, I can get to like 6k, 7k ward. Sometimes like 10k ward. If there's a lot of monsters, that kind of stuff, but it does feel a little bit low, right? I guess the last time I played these kind of like Rune Master, like Frostclaw builds, I was at like, you know, 30k ward, so it definitely does feel a lot nerfed in that sense, right? So ward generation, a little bit of a problem on the build, and I was kind of like a little bit stuck, I would say, at one point in the character's like progression, because I just didn't have enough ward generation, right? And it kind of felt bad in monoliths. Like you had a lot of damage, but then not enough like survivability. But I think now I got some better gear, got some more ward retention and that kind of stuff, and it is feeling a lot better. Alright, so you do have to sort of be careful here. These guys, I don't know why they're so tanky, like the archer guys. And you can see like the mana stuff, like mana situation isn't all that bad. Like I don't have to constantly be casting the, what do you call it, Craterborn or Meteor thing, right? It's like, sometimes I'll like notice, oh shit, I'm kind of low on mana, and then I'll just like cast it. Alright, let's kill this. Oh wait, we gotta kill the lizard first. Oh, boss is dead too. Alright, okay, so you see damage completely insane, right? Okay, so let's go try the boss. Oh, I can't kill him with the Harbinger yet, but that's okay. Right, so this build, I think like you could probably push some decent corruption with it, but I think, I don't know, I might be trying a different kind of build. some point. You can see we're already at 999 stacks. He should be dead pretty soon. Wait, where'd he go? Oh, it's like a phase, okay. I like never do this boss. Oh, what is going on? Oh, what? What happened there? Do you still have like Ignite stacks on him or something? Yeah, it's kind of funny. Alright, so that's boss, guys. Pretty easy. 200 corruption, not really that much to say, but it's kind of funny. Alright, let's run one more monolith, I guess. The other one was kind of fast, right? Hopefully we don't die. You can see, like, sometimes ward generation is really bad. I guess especially when you're starting out the monolith before you actually, you know, hit a lot of monsters and that kind of stuff. But in combat, it's, like, good enough, I'd say, right? At least at this level of corruption. Alright, there's so much loot. What is going on here? Oh, Frostclaw idol. Okay, grab that. Oh, we got Lizard. Let's kill the boss off first. Alright, boss dead. Lizard is also dead. Alright. Pretty insane. Oh, we got level, nice. Alright, so let's go over the build. First of all, let's go over some of the build changes that I made. The main thing is, before I was using like the Crest of Unity helmet, and that was okay. It was pretty nice, like getting the massive area on the Elemental Nova, like all these Novas and that kind of stuff. But, you know, at some point I was kind of like thinking that most of my damage isn't even coming from these Novas anyways. So I decided, let's just go for more damage and went for the Calamity setup, because Calamity is like, it's like got two T7 affixes on it for Mage, right? It's got like a T7 Ignite and pretty much like T7 increased fire damage as well. So that's pretty insane, right? And it also does have cast speed. So this helmet, as soon as I swapped to this helmet, I instantly felt like I was doing a lot more damage. And yeah, I think it's just overall better. Okay, so that's the first change, swapping over to Calamity. The other changes I made was using the Invoker's Static Touch. It is kind of like, it is kind of sad we have to use a set item, but this is like the best way to generate ward that I've seen so far. Everything else that I've tried for like generating ward in monoliths has been like pretty bad, and I am using a Ashes of Mortality, but this thing doesn't even really give you that much ward generation in monoliths. Like on bosses, it's really good. You see like because we have over 1,000 Ignite stacks, you'll just see like you're getting like 2,000 ward, 3,000 ward every like 2 seconds. Your ward will just like jump up. But in monoliths, you're not going to be able to be stacking up that many Ignites, right, when this procs, so it's not really that impactful. But still, anyways, still using it because of like, you know, ward retention, cast speed, and then increased fire damage and that kind of stuff. So it is very nice, a very nice ring. And then I guess instead of a rare ring right now, Invoker Static Touch, I think this, I'll probably end up just using this all the way till the end, like end game with this character, because there is no real other good ward generation solution right now that I've tried. Maybe I'll find something, but until then, I think we're gonna have to use the set item. Okay, so I did recraft some of my gear. You see I got some very nice items. The suffixes aren't super good. I guess this one turned out really nice. It's got like tons of elemental damage. It's got, you know, the necrotic resistance, which is kind of something I needed. It has like frailty, ignite. Only thing is it's on a bad base. I guess not the worst base, but not a very good base. The focus is like a T7 cast speed, and that's pretty much it. I guess that and void resistance, like the only two useful modifiers. Then the belt's pretty nice. I don't need crit avoidance. I don't need poison damage, so let's just like the elemental damage, fire damage. So CDR is okay, I guess, for teleport, but not super important, right? I'd rather have more cold resistance or life. so I could scale the Twisted Heart better. You can see our life situation is pretty bad. Okay, so body armor, I couldn't find any T6 chance to ignite on fire hit on the market, so decided to just go for intelligence, which is like actually pretty good, right? Get more ward retention, so it's not like the worst thing in the world. I did finally slam a 30% movement speed on my boots, so that's pretty nice. And then that's pretty much it for the changes. For the idols, so I swapped the medium idol or the large idol out for fire penetration and health. I guess you could go for like a chance to ignite as well, and then swapped over some idols to get some like resistances and that kind of stuff. Okay, as for my other idols, I'm using these like 14% and then fire damage over time. Ideally this one had fire damage over time, but I guess the ward per second is not that bad. Maybe I'd probably want to swap that over too, because I think damage right now is good enough. Still using the Elemental Nova area, that kind of stuff. So that's sort of the gear situation. Okay, so a couple of important notes. So we're going to talk about Frostclaw, about the mana cost. Right now, you can see in my tree is I'm picking up everything. Like I have all of these extra casts, and I also have the Frozen Malice extra cast, and my Frostclaw is 14 mana. Okay, so if you don't have this T5 or T7 reduced spell damage cost, because these are pretty rare, hard to get, you can go for a tier 6, which is -4. Basically what you would do is you would take 1 point out of Celestial Conflicts, and then this point here, and then you just go Path to Frozen Rain, and that's going to completely solve all of your mana issues. Or you could just take out this node here too, right? So, and with that setup here, then you're going to have pretty much no mana problems at all. You could also get rid of Ever Onward, so you go this way, and then take Frozen Rain, and then if you did that, then you probably don't even need a T6 reduced spell damage cost, or reduced mana cost. So there's a lot of like ways to fix Frostclaw's mana situation. One actually pretty big thing is, you can see I have 300 mana. Because we're also sorcerers, one of the reasons why I wanted to be sorcerer. So we have Archmage, so it's like a 20% chance to refund 35% of mana cost, but we have 300 mana, so instead of 20% chance, it's 40% chance, and it's 70% of the mana cost. Right, so getting to 1,000 mana, probably not really realistic or ideal, but still 300 mana, getting double value from this, it does really help with your mana sustain. You can see I can shoot my Frostclaws without worrying about mana for quite a while, right? And then if I'm like, oh shit, I'm out of mana, I just teleport and use Meteor, and then instantly back at full mana. Okay, so that is Frostclaw, the mana situation, and you know, Meteor is costing 200 mana, so if you accidentally cast it, it's not really the end of the world, because it is refunding the mana from the Archmage thing every now and then also we have 48% of the mana refunded, so it's like 100 mana back. So not really the end of the world. Sometimes in Monolith I'll like accidentally push it and be like, oh shit, but it's never been, I've never actually ran out of mana and had been like, oh shit, I can't do anything, right? Alright, so let's go over the skills real quick, guys. So for Elemental Nova, basically now I've gotten out of this area thing because we're not using Crest of Unity, don't really have the points for it, so pretty much just going for the damage area, ignite, and then this area here to reduce these costs. We want to make sure our Elemental Nova is costing 0 mana, so it doesn't really affect our mana situation. And then for Frostclaw, we kind of went over this a little bit, but pretty much trying to get the mana cost as low as possible. I was actually, instead of running this node here, I was running 3 points in Celestial Conflicts, and it was okay, but then it's like 15 mana cost. And, even though we are using Meteor to refund our mana, I don't want to have to rely on this all the time, right? I don't want to have to, like, you cast like 5 spells and you're like, oh shit, I have to cast Meteor. I want to be able to, like, spam my Frostclaw a little bit, and then, without having to worry about always having to, like, cast that Meteor to get your mana back. And I think maybe if maybe I go for like a Omnis, or there's a body armor that gives you +1. So if I had one more +1 to Frostclaw, then I could actually go over to this Frozen Rain. So I get these 2 points here. And that will pretty much solve all my mana issues. I won't even have to rely on Meteor for the mana refund. But I mean, maybe not that important. I could actually just put the extra point in Celestial Conflux and get more Nova procs, right? But we'll see. I don't know if I'll do that, but it's something you can do. Nice thing about this build is, I guess, yeah, you don't need extra levels to Frostclaw that much. And the mana situation is very, very easy to solve with like Frozen Rain and kind of like managing what points you add here, like either removing Frozen Malice or Ever Onward and this kind of stuff. So pretty nice. Okay, for Meteor, for this setup, basically we want to get Craterborn, and then after that we want to increase the mana cost, because Aftermath is going to recover 48% of this mana cost. So let's just say 50%, so it's going to recover 100 mana, pretty much, right? And then with Teleport here, I mean, this tech isn't really new or anything. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already know this, but in case you don't, there's a mana tunnel node on Teleport, so it says the spell cost is refunded after Teleport. So if we cast Teleport and we use our Meteor, you can see it didn't cost any mana, but it is actually going to regenerate our mana because, you know, because of this Aftermath node. So we teleport, we cast Meteor, and you see I'm all of a sudden regenerating tons of mana. Right, so that's that. And basically, yeah, we just go for everything that is increasing the mana cost. Like over here, there's more mana cost here, more mana cost here, more mana cost here, and that's pretty much it. For the teleport node, like I mentioned, we go for mana tunnel, then I guess we get stun immunity because we are here, might as well. Cooldown recovery speed, and then time dilation, so we get more duration on our stun immunity buff, and then just like cooldown reduction and some more armor and cold resistance. Alright, so Flame Ward, basically here we're going for the extra charge and going for some damage reduction and then more fire damage. So this is quite insane, like 250% fire damage is like a decent amount of increased damage, so taking this. And that is the skills. As for the passives, I did make a few mistakes on my passives on the first video, mainly because I wasn't reading. First one here is in this Arcane Flames. I thought this was pretty good because it would have like a little bit of Ignite Prolif every now and then also it's like more damage to Ignited. But if you actually read very below, it says fire hit damage versus Ignited. So this means it actually does nothing for Ignite, which is a dot, right? So pretty much useless for the build, so I took it out and now went into this ward retention node, which is actually a nice thing because you can see 600 ward retention. Pretty insane, right? 612 when we use teleport, and if we use our flame ward, okay, nothing. Yeah, so about 600 ward retention in this current setup, which is quite nice. Okay, so that's one change to the passive tree, and in Sorcerer 2, I've gotten rid of these mana nodes here and went full in on extra intelligence. Don't really need the spell crit chance, but intelligence giving us more ward retentions in the so I think that's a lot better than just having extra mana because we don't really need it. As long as you can get to 300 mana pretty much, then you don't really have to get extra mana, right? I think you definitely do want to get over 300 mana for the sorcerer passive Archmage, right? But once you do get to 300 mana, you can get rid of any extra mana you have, and you probably don't need this on the tree. Okay, so this, the rest isn't really changed. Oh, and I also did pick up Arcane Insight because I guess more intelligence and then the ward decay threshold per int is pretty nice. Like I noticed once I had that, my, ward out of combat went up by quite a bit, like 500 extra ward out of combat, so that's quite nice. Okay, and then in Rune Master, not really much has changed here. Oh, right, so there's one other little setup I wanted to talk about. So if, say, we remove our Flame Ward and we go spec Spellblade all the way to Enchant Weapon, there is some cool things you can do here with the Conflagrate node here. So it's basically instant ignite damage when you press your Enchant Weapon. So, and then you have this node here that gives you 200% more damage with your ignites. So with this setup, you're probably going to be able to one-shot a lot of bosses. Like you can get to over 1,000 ignite stacks pretty much instantly, like after 2 seconds or so on this build. So you hit them for 2 to 3 seconds, push your enchant weapon, and then they just kind of die. Probably just get one shot. So I'll try this out. Maybe post a short video or something of that, me trying the setup, but I won't be trying that in this video. All right, so that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.